we expect a lot of allocation to come from various provinces. The budgets are being announced today, and after the rumpus, if people could make out anything out of those, we'll know what exactly has been contributed by the various provinces in terms of that. Our problem has been that the province's contribution to the revenue generation has been 5% only. And that is something which is not tenable. The provinces have to increase their share in terms of the revenue generation over a period of time. Restructuring of loss incurring public sector enterprises. This is the repetition. It's said that what we'll do, we'll restructure them, we'll privatize them if the need be, and if the need be, we will even close. That option is also kept open, that we may even close that. Progressive elimination of untargeted subsidies. Well, that is being done in the form that the 395 billion is now restricted for 2011-12 to only 166 billion. That is the level which we are trying to maintain over there. So it's possible that we may be able to do that. The last one was reduction of public debt to sustainable level. And let us see, this is the scenario of the public debt. And if you can see the figures, that what has been the overall debt situation in terms of GDP was over 55.5% of GDP, which is coming up there. 55.5% of GDP is our debt. Rupee debt in terms of, in percentage of our revenue, are 228 times, basically, if you look at that in terms of our revenue. Foreign currency debt in terms of revenue are 191 times, and the total public debt is about 419 times. This is just to give you an indication where we are in terms of a debt situation. This is just to show that. This is the budget for 2011-12. I'll quickly take you through that and close. What we are expecting is basically 395 billion increase in terms of the tax revenue overall, including petroleum levy increase. There will be an increase of 395 billion. 117 billion will be an increase in income tax, 33 billion in customs, 182 billion in sales tax, and 33 billion in the federal excise duty. Shabbar is sitting here. Shabbar, you're sitting here, you'll have to explain that how we get this 33 billion from excise duty after what has been done with the excise duty law this time. Anyway, so we are expecting a 33 billion increase, and the petroleum levy will increase by 30 billion. Now, non-tax revenue will increase by 102 billion, and overall, if we look at it, the subsidies will go down by 229 billion, and the development expense will go up by 189 billion. This is just a summary of what is there in 2011-12. Two things are pretty clear, and those are basically that we have to make sure when the subsidies are going down, and the WAPDA and KSC subsidies are going to be more or less halved or even lesser than that, so there is naturally bound to be increase in terms of the rates, the utility charges for these coming from these two companies over this particular year. So there's bound to happen, because if the subsidy has to go down, naturally the corresponding impact will pass on to the consumer, and that will go further up. That is one thing. Our position of the poverty, just the key challenges, and I'm taking you through that. This is poverty basically, and if you look at that, this is the level of poverty in the country. And I'm just showing a picture to you to take you through what the position is. Continued power crisis, and that is there. And just to show an example of that, this is what is happening in our economy. Security situation and war on terrorism. This is a demonstration of what is happening in terms of this situation. High inflation, we have talked about it, and the food inflation has been a major problem which is there, and we know about that. Social distortions, and that's been a major problem in our economy and will continue to be a problem, and that social distortions are basically is being represented here, and you can easily see that scenario. Low domestic resource mobilization, low declining productivity, lower growth, inadequate investment and saving rate, I've told you what the rate is, reduction in FDIs, increasing reliance on external and domestic borrowings and the level of sustainability, the concern, struggle with macroeconomic stabilization due to unsustainable fiscal policies, legacy of the economic distortions, pressure of demography, I've talked about it, ailing public sector enterprises, external shocks and natural disasters. All these are the things which are bound to cover us. And in this document, which I have referred to you, I'll not take you through this, there have been some solutions provided in this growth strategy document. And it says, it brings the solutions in two parts, that some solutions are hardware solutions, some solutions are software solutions. The software solutions are the policy situations, and hardware solutions are the infrastructural situation which are going to come up. And I'll not take you through all of this. But this is a note which has been given by a former director of IMF on this particular document which I have talked about. And that I'm just re-emphasizing that we have to read that. These documents are very, very good. If it is implemented, then, and if we make an effort to start implementation, it will make a difference. And I'm sure the government will look at it when they've spent money, they've appointed consultants, and they've hired people to do the job. I think there is a need to look at and move forward with the implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude. And that conclusion is that we have gone through a bad year of economy. We have gone through problems. There have been some positive developments. Developments have been on the external account side, that we have had some better results in terms of external account. First time after a very long time, our current account balance is going to be a surplus. We have had situations due to commodity pricing and other factors that exports have gone up, and there was some restricted imports in the country. So there has been an impact which has come in. Our remittances from outside have gone up high, and we're expecting that will go from to about 11 or 12 billion dollars. So that has something which is contributed in terms of maintaining some stability in terms of your exchange rate, or to maintain the exchange reserves position in the country. But ladies and gentlemen, how that exchange reserve position or exchange rate has relevance for a common man? This is a question which you will have to ponder upon and find an answer. Thank you very much.
So ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have our second presentation, and I am pleased to introduce our second guest speaker of the session today, Mr. Ibrahim Sadat. Mr. Ibrahim Sadat is country managing partner and chief executive of Ernst & Young Fort Road, Sadat Haider. Mr. Sadat, as we all know, has been the president of the institute for 2 years, from 1989 till 1991. He has also been the president of South Asian Federation of Accountants, SAFA. Mr. Sadat has served on various committees of Government of Pakistan related to finance, education, tax reforms, Islamization of economy, committees for review of Companies Ordinance 1984 and Securities and Exchange Ordinance. He has also played a key role as chairman of the task force that coordinated with SCCP for developing code of corporate governance in Pakistan, and later in its improvements. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Ibrahim Sadat.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mr. Saqib Masood, President of the Institute, Chairman and Office Bearers of the Regional Committee, worthy speakers on the panel, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is indeed once again a proud privilege to be here this evening among so many friends and members on a subject which year after year becomes